talk about cancellations, what kind of profit margin are producers looking for to keep a show sustainable after they're into it?
I have no idea. I think that there's a lot that goes into it. And when we say producers, you know, there's so many different parts of it. You've got like Brad and Rob, they didn't cancel us, but they're producers of the show. So they get a lot of the flack, unfortunately. But you know, they were just as helpless as any of us when it got canceled. They had no choice. It was over. So, but then it also depends on the productions, because a lot of productions, particularly ones that shoot in Canada, they're produced by Canadian companies, and then that's when they get their tax incentives. But it's U.S. money going into there, or it's U.S. money that gets back. I'm not entirely sure how it all works, so it can be very complicated. Joe and Paul moved on to the Transporter movie, a television show for Cinemax, and that again is one of those situations. It's like four countries producing that show, so it can vary. It just kind of depends on what your deal is. And that's why I think the web is so important right now. Web series, and you know, it's going to be a new day, for sure. Yeah.
So I've got two things. What's next in the future for you? And secondly, you're even more important than
Thank you very much. We don't get to wear makeup on our show. It's like, can we have a little lip gloss? Some powder, maybe? They really wanted it to be as minimal, so we were like, but we're still on television. And then next, I'm hoping, well, I'm having a baby in a few weeks. And I always say I have a real job, because I have now almost 4 kids. So I do a lot of laundry. I cook and clean. That's great. I run to and from school and sports and ballet and all that. And then I have a comic book that I've developed over this last year. We just finished. It's called Agent Mom, and it's been a blast to make. It's a little Alias meets Chuck if they had kids. So it's lighthearted, and it's fun, and it's action, and it can have the potential to be, you know, kind of sexy and sassy too. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with that. We just released the last pages on MTV Geek. It's a webcomic. And I may release it in a graphic novel form. We may do a second book, or we may try and develop it as a show. I'm not entirely sure yet. And then I have a movie coming up that I'm going to shoot in March. That the whole deal's not done yet, so I can't really say anything about it. But it's not science fiction at all. It's an action movie. And I would play the love interest damsel in distress. So that would be exciting, and I hope it comes through. Other than that, I was looking for my next job. And I've been a little picky too. I turned down almost everything that came my way this year. I want to make the right choice. Again, usually if you sign a television contract, it's like 6 or 7 years, and it's in another country. And I have 4 kids, so you want to make the right choice.
So what's the perfect role for you? What would you like to do?
Oh gosh, I just finished watching Game of Thrones. Oh gosh, that'd be so fantastic. Something like that, you know, a period piece. I eat Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to do movies. I love the fact that I do have a science fiction background, and that science fiction is very pop culture right now, and superheroes and all that. And I feel like that would be helpful. So I'm looking for something like that. Yeah.
One more question.
One more question.
Who's going to be the lucky one?
So you say, you know, you're excited that you have a sci-fi background, that's got pop culture. So I'm just kind of wondering, didn't it used to be the case that if you got started in the sci-fi area, you kind of got corralled into it? But has that changed any, or is it you seen as a better thing to have that as a background?
I think that there's that typecasting stereotype in all facets. You know, you used to not be able to go on a soap opera because you could never get off of it, or you know, you you get typecast as one certain character, whether it was science fiction or action or whatever. And I think that's changed. You used to not be able to cross over from television to movies, and now everyone's doing television. You know, television's gotten so fantastic. The production value, the the scheduling, the risks are a lot lower. You also used to not want to be a part of an ensemble cast, and that's the trend right now too. A lot of movie stars don't want to risk $200 million movies on their name alone. Yeah. You know, it's a big risk right now. So, and gone is that middle tier of movie making that used to happen, that 10 to 7 to $15 million movie range where you had one female character, the rom-com kind of thing. It's much more ensemble, and I feel like that medium tier movie making has really moved into television. And I think thanks to Starz and HBO, and then Netflix is going to start producing. So you like possibly Hulu, who knows? You know what's going to happen. So no, I'm not worried about being pigeonholed, and it's not a bad place to be either. So I'm very grateful. Most actors, 95% of actors are working actors. You know, we work. That's it. We work on jobs, and sometimes they make us really famous, and sometimes we just make our mortgage payment. And that's okay. That's what we do. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I've done a handful of these conventions, and I love them. Most everyone I know that does them, we honestly really truly love doing this because it's such an opportunity for us to sit and talk to people. I always say it's like our version of a rock concert because we get to hang out and talk and share experiences, and so it's wonderful, and I want to thank you guys all so much for coming out.